All right, here we go for our Week 11 power rankings. The New York Giants sit right at the down 8 spots. Yeah, man, they deserve to move down this much. I lost everything I had. Any kind of hope, anything I had for them heading into this week. I mean, versus the Panthers, I think the Giants were the. I thought they were clearly the better team going into the week, even though both teams have pretty poor records. I mean, the Giants have played good football teams and they kept it close, and they except for the Eagles game, but yeah, the loss of the Panthers kind of just put the nail in the coffin for me. I mean, down 8 spots on a big losing streak, and Daniel Jones, he had a really good week last week, but now this past week, I mean, what were we doing? I mean, missing open guys, and then a really unfortunate fumble by Tyrone Tracy towards the end there. I mean, he's been awesome this year. I've loved what I've seen from him, but yeah, and he had a good game too. Unfortunately, he made the biggest mistake and the biggest moment, and now that lost him the game. Now there are other moments go back in the game, but that right there, you could say directly lost them the game at the end. So the Giants are down 8 spots. The Raiders are down a couple spots. I mean, they're off the bye, yeah, but these other teams just should have moved up, or they are where they are for a reason. The Saints are moving up 2 spots. Yeah, interesting win versus the Falcons. I said going into that game, don't be shocked if the Saints find a way to win. It's just the way it goes. I mean, I haven't been, I was a little too high on the Falcons at the beginning of the year and the Bucks. All of a sudden that division is looking like a pretty bad division. Even though Falcons still have a decent record, the Bucks they get healthy. They'll have a little more firepower in offense, but their defense is just so bad. Saints, I mean, they have been one of the worst. They find a way to beat the Falcons. Interesting. They a couple guys that Trevor Penning played really well. Marquise Scouting, Vantling, he had a nice game. It always seems like after a head coach is fired, the team has a little bit, of an extra pep in their step going into the next game, and that they beat the Falcons, and very beatable team. They should have beat them the first time around as well. So, but yeah, they're up 2 spots. The Jaguars are staying put at 29. You surprisingly the game was as close as it was. I mean, if you look at the time of possession, you'd be like, wow. I think the Jaguars had the ball for a total of like 17 minutes in this game. Vikings had it for over 40 minutes. It was absolutely insane to see the time difference and time of possession. They kept it close, but Mac Jones, obviously not. Jaguars just aren't a very good football team. The Panthers are up 2 spots. I mean, the Panthers have been, 2-game winning streak. I like what I've seen from the Panthers the last couple of weeks. Do I think they're a great team? No, but maybe they're an okay team. Bryce Young is gaining some confidence every single week, and the offensive line is actually playing a lot better, getting some good running, some good play out of Chuba Hubbard. And of course, you got a couple of weapons, Xavier Leggett. You have a couple of weapons around him too. So I think that the Panthers are an all right team. They're not great. Let's go below average. They're not horrible, not as bad as they were in the beginning of the season. But Bryce Young seems like he has gained some confidence back, and their offensive line has actually been playing pretty well, which has helped them a ton in the run game as well. All of that contributing to Bryce Young playing a little better, and the Panthers just being a little bit better of a football team. Doesn't mean they're one of the best teams. Does not mean that, by all means, but they're a sneaky team. It seems like they're an okay team, and sneaky by sneaky I don't mean playoff sneaky. I just mean like, okay, maybe they can scare a couple of teams on the stretch here and pull off an upset or two. Maybe. I don't think so, but you never know. Patriots are up 4 spots. They look pretty good against the Bears defense. That secondary, their defense did an incredible job. You look at the receivers that the Bears have, incredible receivers, all very good. And the Patriots did a pretty good job. The defense did a pretty good job. Drake May, he's looking pretty impressive if you ask me. I think he's been impressive. He's been pretty good. So yeah, the Patriots are up 4 spots. Titans, they're staying put 26. 25, poor game, very poor game versus the Chargers. I mean, they want to do the same thing the Chargers want to do. Both teams want to do very similar things. They're just kind of built the same way, the coaching, and what they want to do. But the Chargers are just better at everything that the Titans want to do. And yeah, the Titans are the Titans, man. I mean, if you could keep Will Levis from wanting to take those deep shots, if you could take those away from him, you really got Levis beat. 25, the Browns, yeah. staying put at 25. They were on the bye. Cowboys at 24. They actually did not move up one spot. They moved down. But the Cowboys, they've really been struggling. I mean, no Dak. I mean, now no Dak Prescott. Now they're going to be one of the worst offenses in the league. On top of one of of an already bad defense. They can't stop the run. You just got beat up really bad by the Eagles, man. I mean, not a good football team. They can't stop the run. They can't run the football. Offense is predictable. They're one of the worst teams. They are down here for a reason. They're one of the worst teams in the league because now with Dak Prescott out, it makes that much of a big difference. Will Dak Prescott be a hot topic this offseason, trading wise, or I'm interested to see how that's going to go down this offseason. And the Bears, they moved down one spot. It's just you have the players, you have the guys, but you can't execute. Offense can't get anything going. Caleb Williams does not look good. The offensive line is atrocious. The defense, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, the defense can only do so much. The offense just couldn't really do anything themselves. But like I said last week, the Bears defense is really good when they're playing against poor opponents, and they did what they had to do. They did what they could, but the offense couldn't do their fair share of things. So yeah, but they're still moving down one spot. Really, really bad loss for the Patriots. I mean, beat up pretty bad. Got beat up pretty bad. So they're down one spot. They have a rough stretch going down the season. They have, I think, Minnesota twice. I still think they have Green Bay twice. They have the Lions twice. I mean, the Niners, the Seahawks. It is going to be a long rest of the season for the Bears. I think they have one or two wins max down the stretch here, and they're going to have one of the highest picks in the draft. Colts, they're at 22. They're down one spot. Yeah, just getting beat up really bad by the Bills. And, Joe Flacco is what he is. He's not what he once was. I mean, the defense could only hang in there so long against one of the better offenses in the league, one of the better quarterbacks in the league in Josh Allen. They can only hold on so long. It's difficult for them to get the run game going without Anthony Richardson in there, but it is what it is. The Colts are down one spot. Rough weekend versus the Bills at home. 21, you have the Jets. They're down one spot. I mean, you just get absolutely smoked by the Cardinals. It wasn't even close. Can't stop the run. Can't run the ball. Can't get anything going on offense. I mean, the Jets have just been a huge disappointment. Aaron Rodgers, not what he once was. He's a shell of his former self. Dolphins up 7 spots. Big win over the Rams last night. Yeah, we're going to see what they can do down the stretch here. Can they make the playoffs? Can they make a run? The AFC is pretty loaded. There's a lot going on. Of course, probably not going to win the division. The Bills probably have the division on lockdown. But you look at the wild card race. I mean, you have teams like you have a lot of teams, a lot of teams in that wild card race. You're going to have the Bengals, probably the Steelers and the Ravens. Will the Bengals make it? I don't know. They're kind of in a low spot as well. But you do have the Bengals, the Chargers. You have the Ravens or the Steelers. You're probably going to have a couple of teams make it from the AFC North, but then you have the Broncos who are going to be sneaky. The Jets, are they going to make a second half season? No, I don't even know why I said that. Forget I said that. But yeah, the Dolphins, man, I mean, we'll see if they can make a run in the second half here. They're going to have to be near perfect if they want to make the playoffs because they have a lot of really strong teams ahead of them. So got to start now. Got to keep consistent. Good start last night versus the Rams. The Buccaneers, they're down 4 spots here. Really disappointing outing versus the Niners. The score does not do justice on how bad the Bucs actually played. They couldn't get any, they had no explosiveness without Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. That was really poor. That was really bad. No explosiveness there. The defense, as bad as that has been, it doesn't help that either. Very fortunate that this game didn't look a lot worse. I mean, I think every single drive the Niners had, they were in their territory. So, in the Bucs territory, and they missed 3 field goals, which is crazy. But yeah, the Bucs not a very strong football team. The injuries catching up with them. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield's still really good quarterback, but there's only so much you can do when your top 2 targets are out. Makes a big difference. And we're seeing it. 18, you have the Seahawks. The Seahawks are down a spot. They're on bye week, but it's just kind of how the cookie crumbled here. Uh, the Broncos actually are not down 4 spots. I messed that up. The Broncos are actually up 2 spots. So don't look at that down 4 spots being like, you move them down that far. They were pretty high to begin with, but no, I moved them up a couple of spots because even though they lost, really, really just a disappointing end of that game. They played good football. I thought that the Broncos played really good football. I thought Bo Nix played really good. Really liked what I saw from this team, versus the Chiefs. After, I like the way they responded after the loss versus the Ravens. Never really had a chance in that Ravens game. Come around next week playing another tough opponent and say, no, we're not just gonna lay down. We're gonna fight. We're gonna put our best effort out there, and they absolutely did that. They gave the Chiefs a good run for their money. Just really unfortunate the way that game ended. Like, oh, that sucks. That's a heartbreaker. That kills. But yeah, they're up 2 spots because they played a really good game against them. But the Ravens game kind of hurts. Maybe I should move them up because of that. A loss is a loss, but some losses are more impactful than others. Some wins are more impactful than others. It's than others. It's just how it goes. Rams are staying put. I had to keep them put because I didn't feel like I could have moved them around too much. I think this is right where they belong, right in the middle. They're a good football team, but they're inconsistent. This is a game where you're getting Puka, you're getting cutback, you're finally fully healthy, and this is a game that you really got to win. You can't lose this type of game. You have to win this game, and really question Matthew Stafford's decision to not throw it to Kyron Williams there towards the end of the game. Kyron Williams wide open, probably would have gotten you a touchdown, probably, never know, but that would have been your best chance, your best opportunity to. So questionable decision by Matthew Stafford, very aggressive quarterback. We just know that's who Matthew Stafford is and how he plays. But the defense, was a little disappointing. So yeah, I'll keep them put at 16, even though they lost. I'll keep them put. They've been playing some really good football, so yeah, I'll keep them at 16 for now. I didn't feel like they should have went below any of the other teams or above any of these other teams. To be honest with you, can't move them up for losing. Like I just said with the Broncos, it the scenario is different for every team. It's never the same scenario. So always exceptions. That's what I'm looking for. We have the Falcons at 15. They're down 6. What a rat game. They haven't been looking good as it is. Especially your pass rush. Like, where's the pass rush been? This is your opportunity to get a good pass rush going versus a Saints offensive line that is beat up, that has not played good, and Matthew Judon is not working out. Offseason additions, you still can't get any pass rush, and it's hurting the defense so much. And then the offense can't really get too much going in the passing game. It's been very disappointing. Can't really push the ball down the field. Can't get any type of vertical passing game going. It's really, you do Bijan and Tyler Algier, they can run the football really, really darn well, but that's about all that this offense can do. They struggle on third down. They struggle in big moments, and Kirk Cousins has not looked very good. But yeah, the Falcons are down 6 spots. Or yeah, yeah. No. They were 10 last week, I think. Yeah, okay, they're down 5 spots. Really bad. Man, I really got to get my graphics game on. Really been struggling with that. Yeah, the Falcons are down 5 spots. Bengals staying at 14. They kept it competitive. They gave the Ravens a good run for their money. They were even winning at one point. I believe it was 21-14 at one point. It's just couldn't finish the game. You couldn't put it away. You couldn't win it. You couldn't do it when it mattered most. And you only have 4 players that are really showing out: Chase, Burrow, Hendrickson. No, maybe 3. But the rest of the guys are kind of just like, if those 3 guys are on, it's that is a tough duo to go up against. Even if the rest of the team hasn't really been there. Burrow and Chase can only do so much on offense. T. Higgins should be back soon, I think. You're waiting for your tackle Orlando Brown to come back. So, you know, you do have a couple of injuries there too, but and it will give them a nice boost. But they do need to find ways to start winning games now. They can't really get the run game going. They've struggled to get the run game going. The defense, like I said, Trey Hendrickson is the main guy on the defense. The defense has really struggled, but yeah, Burrow and Chase can only do so much. Burrow's absolutely awesome. We know he's one of the best in the league, but him, Chase, and Hendrickson, you need a little more than that. Even though those three players are absolutely wonderful and towards the top of the best at their position, but it's just not enough. When you're playing some of the better teams, you need Burrow to have damn near perfect game, um, and you need something to go your way. But it just hasn't. But I'm gonna keep them put. They did put up a really good competitive game against Ravens. I'm gonna keep them put. Not gonna move them down or up. Cardinals, they're up 4 spots. The Cardinals have been so impressive. They run the football so well. The pass rush has been there. The defense has made big plays every single week. If it just feels like that the Cardinals are getting better every week. Kyler Murray looking fine. He's playing some good football. And Trey McBride. Trey McBride is hard to cover. Yeah, it is hard to game plan for him, and he makes an impact like a Travis Kelce or a Kittle or Laporte. He is among those guys. He has played that good of a football, and he's made a big difference on the offense, whether he's pass blocking, whether he's receiving the football. Really like what I've seen from Trey McBride. He's developed into one of the better tight ends in the league. So he makes it that much more difficult on defenses. You kind of got to, there's so many different ways you have the game plan for the Cardinals. You have the game plan for Kyler Murray and his ability to get out of the pocket, his ability to run. Their running game and their straight up running game and James Conner. You have Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. You have so many playmakers on that offense, and the defense has played good too. The defensive line has been stellar. The defense in general has played really well. So yeah, Cardinals, they're up 4 spots to number 13, and that's their highest of the year. They've been inconsistent at times, but they've been their most consistent lately. They've played some phenomenal football. Now into our top 12, you have the Cardinals. You have the Chargers moving up 1 spot. I mean, this is coaching matters. I said it last week. Coaching matters. And like I said when I talked about the Titans and Chargers are two very similar teams. Both teams want to run the football. Both teams want to play physical defense. And the Chargers just do everything better than the Titans, and the Chargers, very well coached team, very fundamentally sound, and yeah, they had a really strong outing versus the Titans. You kept Will Levis from getting the big plays. There was one big play he had early on, but that was about it. So good job for the Chargers here. And Justin Herbert has just been absolutely incredible. I think he has played just as good as any other quarterback in the league. I think he's actually been, we all know he's one of the best, and he has been, but he's playing just as good as a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow. He's playing just as good as those guys. His arm talent, his good coaching matters. That's key. Good coaching matters. The defense is playing well, fundamentally sound. They don't commit a lot of penalties, and their defense is incredible. Defense is absolutely incredible. This is the dark horse. The Chargers are a dark horse. Going into the stretch, and to the final stretch of the season, they're a dark horse for the playoffs. They're a dark horse to make the Super Bowl. Yes, I said it. The Chargers are a dark horse to make the Super Bowl. Herbert is playing at such a high level. The defense is playing good. They run the football well. They don't make stupid mistakes. They're coached really well. Defense is awesome. Um, yeah, man. The Chargers are very good. Very good. Top 12 worthy, absolutely. Getting into the better teams now. Niners are up 1 spot. A little bit, it doesn't really do justice for how well the Niners played. The Niners played really good in this game. Defense played really well. Offense was humming, and Jake Moody really selling out here. I mean, he missed 3 field goals. Really disappointing outing for Jake Moody. Missing 3 field goals, it's not good. He went 3 for, not good. Not good at all. This is a long day. Really didn't help the Niners at all. It brought it down right to the end. You let Baker Mayfield and the Bucs stay in it because you couldn't make those field goals. That's about 9 points right there. So yeah, the Niners got to get their kicking game going, but it was a good day for them. The score doesn't do justice to how well they played. They played very good. The score was not as close. The game was not as close as the score says it is. It was not. Niners really for the most part dominated this football game. I thought. kicking game, special teams. Yeah, not good. They'll definitely hurt. But then you have the Texans. They're down 2 spots. I mean, first half they were looking incredible. All the problems that they've had in the first half kind of disappeared in the second half. But yeah, that second half was just horrible, hard to watch. I mean, all those problems resurfaced. The offensive line played like crap again. CJ Stroud can only do so much. Nico Collins should be back next week. I mean, dang it, getting Nico Collins back in this offense will probably look better, but the offensive line play won't get better. It seemed like like I said, all the problems were gone in the first half, but the second half they all came right back, and you force 5 turnovers and you still can't find a way. You're up 10 points at one point. Disappointing. Down 2 spots at 10. Probably should have moved them down more. I've been very, very generous to the Texans. I can't do it too much longer. Can't do it too much longer. Just barely staying in the top 10. Eagles up 2. You beat up on a Cowboys team that hasn't been playing well. Ran the football really well. Defense played good, but we know that the Cowboys have not been a good football team. But the Eagles did dominate the game like they really should have. The matchup really favored them. So Eagles had a good week. They're up 2. Vikings are down 1, so they did win, but they really struggled against the Jaguars. I mean, and I don't think they scored a touchdown in the game. And Sam Darnold throwing 3 interceptions. I think all of them were all of them in the red zone, or 2 of them in the red zone. The red zone turnovers have been an issue, and it's not getting better. Sam Darnold has not looked good the last 2 weeks. The Vikings have just taken a dip the last couple of weeks. They haven't looked like the same team in the beginning of the season. Even though they're 7-2, I mean, they barely outlasted the Colts. They barely outlasted the Jaguars. They had the ball for over 40 minutes. It's just I don't know. I'm not seeing as good as a Vikings team as I saw early in the year. I mean, you lost to the Rams, you lost to the Vikings. That was a 2-game losing streak. Maybe you didn't beat the Jets like you should have, but all right, they're down 1 spot. They did win 2 games in a row. They did barely outlast them, but they're playing another AFC. They have a favorable schedule going into the rest of the year. They really do. They have the Titans. That's going to be. I'm interested to see how this offense is going to look against the Titans defense. I mean, if you struggle that much against the Jaguars defense, now you're playing one of the better defenses in the league in the Titans. Yeah, it's going to be a long day for that offense. The Bears. You should beat the Bears, but that's another good defense. That is really good against bad offenses. But the Vikings offense has not been there. Losing Christian Darrisaw has not helped. Cam Robinson has not been there. But then you have the Cardinals. You're probably not going to beat the Cardinals if you keep playing like this. The Falcons, that's maybe a 50-50 game. Not a fan of the Falcons. Not a fan of the way the Vikings have played either. Bears again. Seahawks, that's maybe a 50-50. The Packers and the Lions, you probably lose the last 2. I said the Vikings taper off in the second half of the season, and they're going to continue to fall here. But the power rankings is not a prediction. It's with what we have seen so far and what we have seen recently. And yeah, the Vikings are moving down 1 spot. Even though they've won 2 games in a row, I don't think that they should be above the Commanders at 7. Commanders are just, even though they lost to the Steelers, it was a really disappointing loss. I mean, you couldn't get the run game going. This is a game. This is good learning tape for Jay and Daniels in this offense. I mean, Steelers did really well. Steelers sitting here at 6 up 3 spots themselves. They had a really good week defensively. I really like how they set up their defense. I mean, they have 5 guys on the line. They have Watt and Highsmith, lined up so far outside, and it was a phenomenal game plan on defense just to keep Jay Daniels in the pocket, blitz him, make him make a decision fast. And this is good teaching tape for Jay Daniels. This is a good learning game for Jay Daniels. But fortunately, they couldn't win. They were up a decent amount at one point in this game, so it sucked that they were up a good amount and then they couldn't finish the game. That sucks, but it is what it is. 2 really well coached teams went at it. It was a very good game, but the Steelers ultimately they come on top in the end. So the Steelers are up 3 spots to 6, and the Commanders are down to 1 spot to 7. And they got the Packers. at 5. They're staying put. They were enjoying their bye week, not going to move them up or down. 4, Bills. Couldn't move them up because of who's above them, but had a really nice game versus the Colts. I mean, the beginning of the game struggled in the first half a little bit, but second half they really pulled away and did what they had to do. Josh Allen threw a couple of interceptions, really were pretty bad interceptions as well, but yeah, you beat up on a Colts team you should have beaten up on. Ran the ball well, passed the ball well. Defense looked pretty good. So the Bills, they look pretty good. They're staying put though. All right. So there's a change to my top 3. The Ravens at 3. Talk about the Ravens first. They're staying put. They're not moving. Ravens, really, really close. Awesome divisional battle on Thursday Night Football between the Bengals. I mean, awesome game. Found a way to win there at the end. Lamar Jackson playing like an MVP, like the MVP, front runner. The defense though, defense is a little questionable, but that offense is so good with Lamar and Derrick Henry that if the opposing team makes a mistake, I mean, they're just gonna chew the clock. They're just gonna kill you in that aspect of the game and not give you many chances. But a really good divisional game. They're staying put after a very close game versus the Bengals. Um, Lions, they're down 1 spot. Chiefs are up to 1 at number 1. Let me explain. I still believe that the Lions are the best team in the NFL. I don't think there's another team that can hang with them for 4 quarters. The Lions, and the Texans almost did. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions did lose another game or two. It's going to happen. They're going to have bad games. But speaking of bad games, they just had a bad game. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. Wasn't even in the fourth quarter yet, and he had 5. Yet the Lions found a way to win that football game. Speaking of finding ways to win football games, I mean the Chiefs blocked the freaking field goal. They didn't block that field goal. They probably no longer undefeated. They're probably 8-1. But at this point in the season, I can't put any other team over them. They're 9-0. Going into week 11, 9-0, you're undefeated. If the Lions dominated the Texans the entire game, I would not have moved the Lions. But considering you had a really bad first half, second half, the team that we all know came out. They found a way, even though they weren't having a good day. They found a way, which is a really good sign, even though we already knew. I already knew that the Lions were the best team in the NFL, one of the best, not the best. But this isn't a prediction. I do think the Lions will win the Super Bowl. I genuinely think so. I can see the Super Bowl being the Lions and the Chargers. I really could. I can see the Chargers being that team that just shocks everyone and goes all the way and finds a way to make it to the Super Bowl. I could see it. Really good defense, really well coached, one of the best teams in the league. He's got weapons. He can run the football. That, top defense, probably the best defense in the league. If not, it's right there with the best of the best. I could see the Chargers giving the Chiefs a good run for their money, or whoever they play in the playoffs. Whoever the Chargers play in the playoffs, no one wants to play the Chargers. No one wants to play the Chargers in the playoffs. And I think that the Chargers are going to make a surprise run. They're my dark horse. But, yeah, I had to move the Chiefs up to 1. I didn't want to, but it needed to be done. They're 9-0. The Lions have been the more dominant team. I do think the Lions are the better team. That may sound contradictory. I may be contradicting myself there. But the Chiefs are 9-0. They found a way. Even though it was a crazy way to win, and that's not sustainable. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're gonna continue to win. It's not like they're winning like that every week. Most of the games are pretty close, man. I mean, I don't know if there's a game the Chiefs won by more than 10 points. I actually want to look right now. Broncos, no. Bucks, no. Raiders, no. They beat the Niners by 10. They beat the Saints by 13. That was it. Their biggest win was by 13. But nonetheless, they're 9-0. No, hold on. But the Ravens played, yeah. The biggest win was by 13, but the Chiefs are doing what they have to do. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, as long as you have the defense playing the way that defense is playing, the Chiefs are going to be fine. They're going to get healthy as the season goes on. They're going to get healthier once again. And I can't take a team that's 9-0 and not have them at 1 right now. I can't. Even though I think that the Lions are better. Right now, the Chiefs are still 9-0. They're still undefeated. Like I said, if the Lions dominated that football game against the Texans, then I would have the Lions #1 still. But yeah, I'm giving the Chiefs the nod this week to be at #1. I don't want to. I don't like it myself, but you can't take away from them being 9-0. You can't. You simply cannot. So there are my power rankings, my Week 11 power rankings. Thank you guys for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show. Our fans, welcome. Let's give a quick shout out to our members. Thank you, Marshman. Thank you, Red. I appreciate you guys being members. It's been a blast. Appreciate you guys truly. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show. I will catch you guys next time. It's JDW signing off.